Out and out 7 fetcher Conor Oliver on the open side flank. Federico Fedivelli is the match referee this evening in Galway. As we can just see the crane in the background and the emerging outline of what lies ahead at the new Dexcom Stadium. Redevelopment of the stadium. A real sense of buzz and excitement around the province, but they've got to get things right on the pitch, and the visitors from Durban, the Sharks, haven't got things right from the kickoff. They've knocked it on, and we'll have the first scrummage of the evening, Gavin Duffy. And what is a big night for Connacht, having got, yes, 2 points from Thomond Park, but come away without the win that maybe they felt their performance deserved. Yeah, mixed feelings, I think, was how Pete Wilkins described it. First game of the season, Connacht in Thomond Park, and he felt to 12-0 up. You know, they'd set themselves into a good position to go on and win the game, and I think ultimately he was left disappointed by only getting the 3 points in the end. So I think the one thing he's spoken about consistently during the off-season and leading into the start of the URC season has been Connacht's ability to back up performances week on week. It's easier in a way to play against your nearest and dearest rivals when you're playing interprovincial games, but he wants to see that level of consistency every single week. Well, what a debut it was last weekend for young Ben Murphy. Absolutely seized his opportunity with both hands, and 2 tries and a line break, searing line break into that Sharks 22 inside the opening 90 seconds of the game, off first phase and set piece. They were good off the back of scrummages last weekend against Munster in Limerick, and so it proved there again. Piers O'Connor on debut last weekend, first home appearance for him. And it's picked up here by Niall Murray. David O'Connor alongside him in the engine room this evening. That second row, Conor Oliver now with one of those trademark robust carries of his, head down, shoulder to the pump, drives his legs, and it brings the advantage for Connacht. One of the Sharks players is marooned on the wrong side and pinged by the officials. Josh Murphy, again, loads of aggression in that first carry for him, and Dennis Buckley on 250 tonight. Would love to make a big impact, and he so often does. Josh Ioane, box of tricks at his disposal. Just a little bit hesitant there, perhaps. Connacht reorganised, sniping and darting. Swivel of the hips from Ben Murphy. No advantage, back we go. Good start from the home team. They might go quickly here. Never take your eyes off Ben Murphy. That's an occupational hazard. He goes so quickly. He plays with such tempo. Great start by Connacht, though, and I think Cathal Ford, again, a guy that's going to be earmarked by teams. This is in his 3rd season now. One of the best ball carriers across the league, but it was his lovely little hands and a little pop pass, a delayed pop pass here to Piers O'Connor.
Line is yours.
Great line. Probably could have gone back inside of Cathal Ford. Maybe took the best option to hold on to it there, though. Seen it for the 2nd time, but really, really sharp start. And that's building on from what they did last week in Munster as well, where
who is the receiver?
First phase, second phase, looked really sharp.
7 out of 7 in terms of lineouts last weekend. It was pretty much perfect, uncontested. Niall Murray goes up. Sharks stay on the ground and look to defend this ball, and here come the backs. Shane Jennings, Cathal Ford in there.
The same ball.
There's a little bit of a splinter there. They're okay here. They might get to the line. You know, that must be a try. Brilliantly worked. They kept all their composure when it seemed to be a little bit fractured and broken up. And coming up with the ball, it seems, who's got it down in the end? Is it Dave Heffernan? It looks as though he's the man that's managed to find his way to the try line here. Set it up really early. The initial defence was good from the Sharks, and then it breaks up a little bit, and that provides the space for Heffernan and others to work their way through.
The same in the next one.
Brilliant start. And I think what will... Yeah, Dave Heffernan it was that got over in the end, but I think what will please the coaching staff and the team in particular is the fact that they've now really fronted up here. This is a big, big Shark side. They're known for their dominant hits and dominant ball carries, but to front up like that in the first few minutes, first line out, you know, it was a bit of a weakness last year, or certainly something that had to work on into this season. Was anytime going into the opposition 5-metre line, could they secure the line up first of all, and could they get the maul going? They committed to that maul. You could see it. Even the backs joined in. I think there was 13 guys in it at one stage there towards the end. So excellent start, and a lovely contrast to the way, you know, the first phase, sleight of hands, picking holes. But then, as I said, that would be really pleasing for John Muldoon as the line-out and maul coach, but in particular for the whole squad, I think, and the guys out in the field this evening.
Oh, it's a beautiful strike from Josh Ioane. Absolutely perfect. So it's the full complement of 7 points to back up the brilliant score in the end from
Heffernan just breaks away at the very, very end.
That's all right. Thank you.
So having just got their noses in front with that opening try, an important clearance from Cahill Ford. He's given that absolutely everything. He would have preferred that to Trundle into touch over on that far side. So up towards halfway. Decent carry back on the kick return from Masuka. Interesting to see his progress at number 10 this season. He's highly thought of in South African circles. He's been one of a number of players linked as a potential future Springbok. There he is, deep inside his own half, kicking from beyond the 10-metre line up towards the Connacht 10-metre line. Solid and comfortable under the high ball. First of the evening for Santiago Cordero. Looking forward to see him once again combining with Mac Hansen and tonight Shane Jennings in that rejig back three.
And you can see Ben Murphy every single time the whistle is blown, he's looking, can we go quick? Can we put them under pressure? But sensibly just taking a sting out of it for a couple of seconds here and letting Connacht get back into the Sharks half again.
Well, there was a missed touch right at the end of the game last week. And there was a foot in touch though, so Connacht get away with that. Jordan Hendricks perhaps could have been a little bit smarter there in terms of his awareness of the geography around Galway here. Connacht right in that fight on 80 minutes at Thomond Park, and Joshua Wani put his hands up, having had a brilliant display. He didn't find touch from a penalty. Connacht fans would have loved to see if their side could get it done from 5 metres out last weekend.
Yeah, given that the way that they had attacked for the whole game, oh, well held Keane Prendergast, but given the way they've attacked off first phase, they look really dangerous, and here they go again.
Ben Murphy into his namesake Josh standing deep, and
counteract.
Murphy now under pressure. That's Chituka coming through, Venter in there also, and Dylan Richardson in the hooker position tonight for the Hollywoodbets Sharks, as they're officially entitled. Bradley Davids at 9. So many players unavailable to John Plumtree, what with the Springboks finishing up matters in the Rugby Championship. Quite a few injuries as well. No sign as yet of the likes of Sia Khaleesi, Eben Etzebeth, Makasole Mapimpi, Lokanyuam. The list goes on and on. So many marquee names. Cordero. That's what Connacht fans missed all of last season when he was gone due to that horrible injury that he suffered before he even got a Connacht jersey on his back. He looked really good the back end of last season, 2 games under the belt. Murphy now mixing things up, sends Mac Hansen off in chase, couldn't quite get to grips with it. Hansen knocks it forward.
What a big collision that was between Jenkins and Josh Murphy, I think it was, who carried that one in. You could hear it up here in the main stand. Huge collision, and that's something that the Sharks have been renowned for. As poor as they were at times last year, only 4 wins, but top the league in terms of dominant carries, dominant collisions and defence as well. So they don't give up anything easy. And as you said, they have a litany of players that come through over the course of the season as well. So they'll be hoping if they can start strong in this URC season, they can go on and build for that, because top 8 really is where you just got to get to, Conor. You know, it's a long season, and if you get into top 8, all those top teams fancy each other, fancy beating each other on any given day.
Well, if you use resources spent and names brought in as a key metric in terms of who's going to finish where this season, you think of the Sharks and the players they've brought in. And last season they finished 14th, lost 14 of their 18 regular season games, and only scored 47 tries. 3 try bonus points.
Azaz, 2.
Connacht, if memory serves, beat them by a single point down in Durban in a really tight game. There was actually 2 games at the back end of last season that really cost Connacht, both games here at home. You think back to that Emirates Lions games, and then a couple of weeks after against John Dobson Stormers. Those 2 games, crucial defeats for Connacht.
Yeah, they really were. And Jordan Hendricks, who's lying out at full back for the Sharks tonight, he was kind of tormentor-in-chief for the Lions that day as well. And he had his big moment again last week 58-metre kick, last kick of the game as well against the Lions. His old teammate, his teammates, he was asked, did you hear the boos? Did you hear the crowd jeering? And he said, look, I was expecting it.
No break foot.
I didn't want it any other way, but he said it was still sweet at the end to get that last-minute kick.
What a kick it was, 58 metres deep inside his own half. He's effectively replaced Boeta Chamberlain here at the Sharks, who's gone to the Bulls. Cian Prendergast takes it into combat for Connacht, and now they look to get width on it. Slings out from Pierce O'Connor to Shane Jennings, hugging that left touchline.
Not the 9.
Murphy could do with a little bit of help there. Scrambling to get it back into the hands of, on this occasion, Dennis Buckley. Prendergast.
Leave 2.
Good commitment. Sharks out quickly and in numbers off that defensive line, making those big tackles. Murphy. Finlay Bealham. Can he hit the ground running? Such an asset to have, having been looked after under the RFU player program.
Option, line out of scrum. Scrum.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they had gone for the line out there, because again, Connacht, one of their
That's the reason for the free kick.
greatest strengths last year was the defensive line out. And again, Niall Murray was to the top of the charts in the league. He had 7 line-out steals. Joe Joyce had 5. I think the top of the charts in terms of kind of across the league. So that Connacht line-out is feared, and I think that's even a mark there as well in terms of the scrum. Sharks opting it on this occasion.
Hold that ball in. Hold that ball in, boy. Let's get this one, please. Locks, roll.
Some big men in that Sharks first choice front row tonight, and some pretty heavy artillery available off the bench as well. Trevor Inyakani, who's come in from Racing no less, to bolster the ranks there. Hanro Jacobs as well. So what can they manufacture here off first phase? Andre Esterhuizen is usually a good go-to man in that kind of scenario. We've seen it so many times for Harlequins, working so well with Marcus Smith.
Use it!
Quinn's losses, Sharks gain, no doubt, throughout the season. And that's a good grab from Cal Ford. Took it well under serious pressure. Awani now puts one into O'Connor. He'll chase his own kick. Pandemonium in that back three for the Sharks. Considerable tidy up work to be done. They get the numbers back there and they scramble across to centre field. It's Ben Murphy on the receiving end of a leading arm.
Don't hold him the legs. Let him go, please. Thank you very much. Work on size 7.
Quickly back to his feet. He's made of stern stuff in scrum half. Good take again from Awani. Immediately set upon this time by Ethan Hooker.
Ball is there.
Changing things up, we see Mac Hansen periodically just creep into that first receiver role, and it's so effective because you've no idea what he's going to do. Shape there to kick. Run into a cul-de-sac of 2 or 3 Sharks players, but it's good speed and tempo and variation in the opening 13 minutes here from Connacht. Santiago Cordero nudges one through down to that Sharks 22. That's another good result.
Yeah, good decision, but you can see the way Connacht are trying to maintain that shape, and every single time, even though Matt Hansen kind of ventured into midfield there, Conor Oliver, I think, was out here right on the touchline. David Heffernan was on the far touchline, so they always have somebody hugging the touchline both sides, so that gives them width, gives them an opportunity to chase kicks just like that as well.
Injury.
It's exciting too to chart the progress of young coaches within the Irish structure, and Mark Sexton certainly is that. He's so highly thought of, and you know, it's year on year you're looking to layer on from what you did this time 12 months ago.
Yeah, very much so. You can see the impact he had with the Irish under 20s over the last couple of years, and the blueprint was kind of picked up again by Ian Keighley over the last 12 years with that squad. But he's been given more responsibility during the summer here with Connacht as well. He was initially kind of brought in as solely just attack phase, looking after the backs, but now it's kind of broadened beyond that into the general attack. And you can see in Thomond Park last week how sharp they were, you know, and an element of that also was they were playing in the right areas. So when they did get the ball, then they had energy and they were in the right area to attack. And you know, again, he's some lovely little intricate plays as well. You can see how sharp they were off first phase, and you can see that again tonight.
That's your mark. Work between.
Jason Jennings in that second row, as we said, alongside Gerber and Grobler. Two huge men. No Emil van Heerden, who suffered a HIA last weekend and didn't come on tour. 27 players brought to the Northern Hemisphere straight away after that Currie Cup final. There's a lot of rejigging of roles in the Connacht setup. Pete Wilkins now very much hands-on in terms of the defence, and it wasn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination last week against Munster, so we'll keep an eye on how that's progressing. But there's that freedom to play that Pete Wilkins was talking about during the week. If it's on, he backs his players now to make decisions like that. It was a risk and reward kind of bridge pass over the top from Mac Hansen. Frantic pace about the game. O'Connor now just drops his shoulder. Murphy, that first line of three forwards coming onto the ball at pace from quite deep initially. Now Cahill Ford.
Happy on timing for me.
Nothing untoward in the tackle, and Cahill Ford quickly back up to his feet to try and get his hands on again.
Hugely physical D by the Sharks. You can see them, they're getting set.
Tackle me on the ground, 5.
Very straight up, and they're hitting, even if it's slightly late, they're hitting and putting men on the ground as well, and that's going to take a toll on this Connacht side.
Yeah, certainly the referee just checked that really physical hit was okay. Under the high ball, that brings the mistake, and it's breathless stuff, exhausting stuff.
Don't hold the play on the rock, eh? It's fine.
Yeah, and a few hands on heads and a few guys taking.
Stay on the ground. Time is off. Front row.
It's so important that Connacht build on this now if they want to, ask those questions and see how deep this Sharks team wants to dig over the course of the 80 minutes.
Yeah, John Plumtree himself won a couple of Currie Cups back in the day, the early 90s, and in those days Durban came to a standstill. It was ticker tape parades and everyone got a day off or a couple of days off. Different times these times, straight onto a plane to come into the Northern Hemisphere and all the way to Galway.
Yeah, he's had a really varied career, John Plumtree, isn't he? In fairness, as you said, he won a few as a player. He first won the Currie Cup, I think, back in 2008 as a coach with the Sharks as well. When he, after a temporary season as a temporary coach, he made an impact straight away, and he's gone on to coach in Ireland with Joe Smith, and Japan and New Zealand as well, and now back with the Sharks, and again making an impact winning the Currie Cup.
Crouch!
It must be all of a decade ago. He had those couple of years in alongside Joe Smith in the Ireland think tank.
Set!
Oh, that's a real melee. It's a wee bit too eager from the Sharks, and Connacht will go quickly here from the free kick. Cal Ford again, the man to take it up.
Stop 9.
Irwani outside of the boot. And again, they can try and exert some line-out pressure here. Connacht, good field position and territory.
I think we got a glimpse into the new laws there again. Take a little while to get used to perhaps at the scrum. Referees are urged not to reset, but just to award a free kick. And I think you're going to have a lot of those type of conversations where props are going to try and outline what the opposition prop is doing to try and get those free kicks.
Okay. Little step, Connacht. Little step.
So pressure here on the throw of Dylan Richardson. He's got a couple of really big targets in there. Jason Jenkins is one of them.
In the air.
Interference in the air. Dylan Richardson wearing number 2 tonight. He can slot in the back row as well. He's now got 3 Scotland caps. He played on the July tour to
They're on the 15.
The Americas against Canada and Chile. Touch finder down this near side for 27-year-old Sia Masuku. Effectively came in the second half of the season and ousted Kerwin Bosch from that number 10 jersey. Bosch then moved to 15 and
They fought it out. Bosch is now dispatched to Brive in France for his troubles. Suku once more launches that one skyward, disappears into the stratosphere, and then is collected by Cordero.
He's done well under the high ball. Obviously, it was a pre-plan or pre-thinking from the Sharks side, thinking that they'd put a bit of pressure on Cordero, who's not the tallest of guys, but he's got everything coming his way so far this evening.
Hook on the rock. Yeah, but he's not on the ball on the ground now. Yeah. All right.
And just a little bit of chat towards the referee about the breakfoot from Dylan Richardson there. There's that take from Cordero.
Oh, look.
Interesting last week to see those real creative players working in tandem. Mac Hansen, Santiago Cordero off Josh Ioane, that late sweep around, and it caught Munster out 2 or 3 times, particularly in the first half.
Yeah, and given that it's the fact that it's the first time those guys really got a chance to play with each other as well, and Ben Murphy at 9, it was Piers Morgan as well, another one thrown in there. Like, it was incredible how quickly they gelled and had that cohesion. And you know, the evidence is that they got selected again for this weekend. And you look at the bench as well. He's someone like, or look who's not in the squad. I suppose you see how well these guys must be going in training, and obviously how well they played last Saturday as well.
Masuku, that's a brilliant tackle. Stopped in his tracks. I think it was the Connacht captain, Cian Prendergast, and then
8 understand contra Rackman, you stay on your feet.
Huge hit initially, and then Conor Oliver came in as well.
I think it was Cian Prendergast. He was trying to get back up onto his feet, but he never got back into an onside position, and then correctly penalised for being offside.
That smoking and vaping is not permitted on the terraces or the entrance to the terraces. Please respect the right arm.
We play. Watch out, Chris, at the front.
So interesting to see what the Sharks do here, and whether Connacht will go up and contest, which is their DNA. When you pilfer so much ball, that's why the camera was on Niall Murray in particular. He's so good in this instance, as Gavin was saying. Sharks will know that. Oh, they try something a little bit fancy, and Esterhuizen, there's nothing fancy about that. It's just brute force and ballast, and he barges his way over. The inside centre, the former Harlequins man, makes a big noise early in this game on his first start in the URC for his new employers.
And as you mentioned, you know, he made a massive impact at Harlequins, winning the Premiership in his first season back in 2020-21. And they were gutted to let him go this year, and that's why.
So Timor, just check it.
He is a massive ball carrier, and he's finished that really well. Josh Ioane, I think, will be disappointed with his, I'm not going to say lack of effort there, because like it's not a nice place to be when you have a massive man like that running down your channel, but even if you could just get a bump on him or act as a bit more of a speed bump, I think, and let the cavalry come in and help, but you know, he is a man mountain.
There's about 4.5 tons of solid concrete opposite us in the stand that's being built, and I think Esterhuizen might have gone through most of that as well. A good strike, up go the flags. Parity on the scoreboard just past the opening quarter of the game. It's been good stuff from both sides. 7 points apiece, 1 try apiece. Credit to the Sharks for a little bit of variation. There's a mistake from Connacht, but they know all about Connacht's line-out defence. They set up the maul and then don't take the maul, and when they come around the corner, as you said, if you get the ball into the hands of Esterhuizen, they've 1 or 2 targets as well. Going to be difficult to stop.
Yeah, and I think perhaps that's what caught Connacht as well, was that the expectation of here comes the maul, and perhaps then that was the reason why we didn't see Connacht then maybe getting out and getting that help onto the Ioane and the 10 channel as quick, because they were probably coming slightly back in towards the line out. But as you said, it was good variation from the Sharks.
As they do possess a potent maul, as do all the South African sides. You talk about Ulster earlier today, down in South Africa against the Lions. They were mauled out of the game, really, at times.
Coach! Bind!
No Jaden Hendrickson. Bradley Davids in at scrum half for the Sharks. For the meantime, scored a brilliant try in the Currie Cup semi-final against the Bulls. Now, which way is this going? Eventually, up goes the arm. A real battle on this side, closest to the camera. You got a good look at it.
It's not safe to play advantage here. Post.
Well, we know what we can do from 58 metres. This is well within his range.
Post goal.
Very quick to call. Shot at the posts. And that's going to be a really interesting battle. First start of the season for Finlay Bealham, who once again was brilliant in the summer. His progress to an Ireland shirt came via the Emerging Ireland Tbilisi Cup back in 2015, you may recall. Now then, from halfway. Oh, he's got plenty of distance in that. You can move those posts back 25 metres and it'll sail over the black spot. That is brilliant from Jordan Hendricks. Sharks take the lead.
You might be playing on a bit of a hill here on College Road, but it's not at altitude. That was a huge kick. He nearly hit the big screen 20 yards beyond the post.
Penalty by number 15, Jordan Hendricks. It's Connacht 7.
Galway altitude classifies if it's not sideways rain and minus temperatures will.
It's glorious tonight though, Conor, in fairness.
It is, yeah. You won't get better conditions.
Use it!
Hendricks took full advantage. Brilliant strike. Mac Hansen on the retreat here.
Off the shoulder by Green.
Got a little bit underneath it and it did just bounce off his shoulder, so it's a Sharks ball. Not the tardiest from Mac Hansen.
No, but a well-judged kick by Bradley Davies as well. Gave his winger every chance to get up and contest and put pressure under Hansen as well.
Hansen, which is good news for Ireland as well. He looked super sharp last weekend. Dylan Richardson, who scored a try in round 2 of the URC last season against Leinster, gets it into the hands of Emmanuel Chituka. Both he and his brother now at the Sharks from the Lions. Rampaging into the Connacht 22. The referee's happy initially. Well, I think he was going both ways at one stage there.
Yes, before holding on by force by 11.
It's Connacht who get the decision in the end.
Holding on.
Yeah, we'd like to see that one again, because certainly it looked like at one stage it could have been Connacht that were penalised. Sharks are beginning to get into it though. They're getting the phases together and looking quite sharp and quite lively now.
Again, with the travel in the Currie Cup and whatever degree of celebration they did do, they've probably not done really any meaningful pitch work today. This week it's all been largely recovery. John Plumtree said that.
Just watching that again, that was an incredible turnover by Shane Jennings. You could argue he was a tackler, released. Oh, that was... He got the call on that occasion, but that was superb turnover.
Knock on, 2 on the ground.
It's very messy from that line out.
Advantage over.
It was a knock on, but that advantage kicked away when Masuka bombed it downfield. Cordero
retreat, keep retreat.
Kick return.
All on.
On they go, midway inside their own half, and there's another one of those missiles launched into the night sky. Mac Hansen. Get away with it in the end again.
He did. He's very casual there, wasn't he? When that ball bounced, it could have gone anywhere.
No, please, go and drop out. Sorry.
He's an intriguing character. You never quite know what's going on between the ears. Very, very casual there. Never looks flustered. Now then, we see a little bit of a set play off the restart here into the hands of the Sharks captain Vincent Chituka. Hendricks. They've so many playmakers with Masuka in there now as well, and they get it away to Julius, and on he goes, rampaging up towards that Connacht 5-metre line. All hands to the pump here. Almost impossible really to stop Jason Jenkins. Somehow Connacht did that, but for how long? Into the hands of Grobler. Frying pan to the fire for Connacht. Two massive men in the second row, and almost as big and certainly as destructive. What a try again for Ander Esterhuizen. They're claiming knock on, and they want a TMO check to Connacht. Well, that was brilliant stuff from the Sharks again.
Yeah, and it had everything. It had the pace of Julius at 13, and then had the power of Jenkins, and it was a superb tackle by Niall Murray in fairness to stop him short, but Sharks then had numbers out wide, and Andre Esterhuizen decided he didn't need them. But looking to see if there's a knock on anywhere here.
That was electric from Lorenzo Julius, using all his pace, and then they just pop it into the hands of the big man. How do you stop Jenkins? Well, that was a brilliant intervention. And then Grobler is next up.
Just here, I think they're looking for a knock on, but I don't think it did. I think it hit his foot. Yeah, it hits his foot.
Stefano Penne is the TMO. He's checked that. You saw the pictures, nothing conclusive in that. Over goes the conversion in the blink of an eye. It's a 10-point game. 2 tries on debut for Andre Esterhuizen.
And it's been all Sharks since Connacht scored the try. It's been all Sharks in fairness to them. As I said, they've really taken the game to Connacht. Andre Esterhuizen there, he had to score. He had a 3-man overlap to his left, but he's been in that situation before once or twice and he hasn't been stopped, so he knew what he was at.
And Connacht are going to have to find a way to deal with the size and power and the physicality of Esterhuizen and his mates in there, the likes of Jenkins and Grobler. Chituka as well, the really big, strong carry at the start of all that. And then we saw the pace of some of the outside backs. Cordero now trying to spark something from deep for Connacht. Moves it on to David O'Connor.
No, it's fine, clean out.
The man on debut, former Leinster Academy man. Spent a couple of years up at Ulster, then moved to the Championship in England with Ealing. Finds himself now in Galway. Spilled by Finlay Bealham. And the referee now in the line of fire.
No, please, Chan. No. Macon.
Finlay Bealham acknowledges the error. It's a forced error, if you want to call it that. 2 players combined in the tackle.
Josh Murphy's been so impressive this early part of the season. For a man that was out of the game, finishing off his doctorship, if that's what you call it, playing for Clontarf in the All-Ireland League last year, and then comes back in last Saturday and had a massive 80 minutes. Like, for a guy, as I said, who's out of the game for 12 months, like it's a real testament to the amount of work he's done away from the Dexcom here in his own time, combining that with his studies as well. And he's someone that Connacht really needs firing on all cylinders, because he has a little bit of an edge, a little bit of a dog as well that Connacht need. You know, someone like himself and Joe Joyce as well. It's must be a bit of grease in the ball, Conor, because that's another unforced error.
Yeah, a little bit of evening dew settling in. Cool evening on the west coast. Connacht will take it now. Mac Hansen, all of a sudden the decibel level rises. Everyone gets to their feet. Expectation as to what Hansen can bring. They'll have to earn the right a little bit. Conor Oliver takes it up. Ioane to Cathal Ford, Mac Hansen, and those are the little moves that were working for Connacht on attack last weekend. Particularly, you think back to that David Hawkshaw try. There's another big hit goes in that time. It was Vincent Chituka again on Cathal Ford. It was a fraction late, perhaps.
Flat.
Good flat pass, inviting Josh Murphy to come forward. Onto it at pace over the top. Now they're trying to suck in that Sharks defence with those 3 or 4 phases, get them narrowed up, and then sling it over the top. Oh, it's just clipped off a boot. Connacht a little bit unlucky there. It's a very open game. I'm not sure the 2 coaches will... they'd like it perhaps to be a slight more controlled. Shane Jennings.
Retreat! Retreat!
Slices that one off the boot.
Vantage, 7, never retreat.
Forward pass, Sharks advantage. Conor Oliver was a little bit slow getting back.
Never moving backwards. Offside.
Those are the type of penalties, they're so avoidable. You know, the referee even was shouting at him, stand still, and those are the type of penalties, and it happened last week again in the second half against Munster, that allowed teams into Connacht's territory.
Cried looking at that forward pass on the replay. It's offside was before, and it trumps the forward pass in any case. And look at this shot at the post. It's called for Jordan Hendrickson. Now there's a bit of an angle attached to this as well, but if he kicked a 58-metre penalty to win the Currie Cup, I'd say this is all of that and maybe a little bit more. .63 metres is the official distance. The countdown to launch. Off it goes. Oh, it's good. It's very good. It's absolutely brilliant. Oh my word. Two absolute missiles from inside his own half. That's incredible from Jordan Hendrickson. Connacht be warned, you cannot give away penalties anywhere within 60 metres plus, perhaps. 63 metres, that is phenomenal.
That is an incredible kick. I saw an interview with him during the week, or the press conference, or the post-match conference last Saturday, and he asked, you know, what was the process, what was the routine, and he says, look, I just imagined I was out on a Saturday morning practicing, and I keep saying to myself, head down and follow through. He certainly follows through on that one again.
Distance, accuracy, everything. Rare mistake so far from Cadero. And look at this from the Sharks. That's brilliant over the top. Esterhuizen linking with his midfield partner Julius, and they get it wide to Keiter. Well, the full width of the pitch. They're bringing a little bit of everything here, the Sharks. They've been absolutely superb in the opening 35 minutes after a tricky start.
They have been, but I think at the same time, Conor, if you look at from a Connacht perspective, the errors and mistakes are beginning to count up and mount up as well.
Acres of space, wasn't there? And having made the error, Cordero, he made up an awful lot of ground.
He did. It was a good tackle, wasn't it? And then Shane Murphy, arguably could have been a penalty against him as well for hand out, knocking the ball down.
Yeah. So the bag of tricks here. Was that sacked legally or was it early? There's the outstretched arm penalty.
Well, that's the second one in the game for that similar penalty. They had one inside the Sharks 22 earlier in the game, so.
Liners again.
They'll have another go at it. Connacht on high alert in defence.
Understand that you join early. Make sure you clearly hold your play in the air. Don't drop him. It's fine.
Well, I think there's a bit of both there. I think it's a case of don't drop him, but also you can't hold the player in the air either for longer than is kind of natural as well. So better timing there by Connacht.
He's a big man. He comes down pretty quickly, more often than not. Gerbant Grobler. Jenkins alongside him too. Now where is the ball in that forest of bodies? Oh, they're crawling forward here. Claims that they got to the line and the try is given.
Ball on the ground over there.
The referee is well placed. The assistant had a good view of it as well.
There.
They find their way to the try line, and the set piece pays dividends for the Sharks again, and they are building a big score and a big lead here. And it's all those big men that are doing all the damage. Gerbant Grobler, 124 kilograms, 6'7" tall, finds his way to the Connacht try line.
Yeah, what a response by the Sharks. You know, when you think back, it seems a long time ago now that Connacht were scoring their own maul try. The Sharks have been so dominant and full of value now for their lead.
That's Owen Cross on the far side, the referee's assistant, in communication with the referee all the while. He had a decent view of this. Stefano Penne, remember, is the TMO. He'll be checking it as well. As that ball made it to the whitewash.
Oh, please.
Yeah, it's going to require a full review. I wasn't convinced on that replay.
On the field decisions, try.
On-field decision is try,
grounded on the line,
which is key.
Yes, we have to check if the player has propelled himself and he was on the ground before reaching the goal line.
So we're checking potential double movement before the reach. Okay, corner. Okay, we have a look at this. We are on the screen.
Paul Haycock on the left-hand side there is the other referee's assistant. Owen Cross, as I said, had a good view of it. There was a Sharks player.
I think we'll have to see that in real time, Connor, to make a decision on that. Even this side is a better angle. So he's on his knees, he's crawling there.
Yeah. He's kind of being propelled forward, isn't he, by I think it's Dylan Richardson and maybe...
These are the two best angles we have.
I think we have
two knees on the floor there.
Because it looks like the player's pushing him and he's not moving. He's following. So, exactly. So Stefano, I think this is the best angle.
Well, I think he's tackled there and moves then again. And now he scores. Now he turns.
He's following the play that's pushing him. So I don't see him play. So Stefano, if you back on me with the camera, what is here? I understand the player is on the ground, but he's not using himself, propels himself forward. He's just pushing from his home player and pulling from the green one. So I don't see double movement. I stick with my on-field decision to strike.
Okay.
Try stand, because the player is on the ground just by pulling to your players and pushing them. So there is no responsible. Yeah, no, there's no problem. So try is good.
You can see from both angles. I think from a Connacht perspective, you kind of think, well, both knees are on the ground.
Yeah,
he has to release the ball.
Yeah, tackled. Yeah,
tackled, release the ball, and then from the Shark side, you can see, well, he has got forward momentum. He hasn't stopped. Yeah, it's a call that can go either way.
Cian Prendergast made the point to the referee. Decision made. He's not for turning.
Just a glimpse of Peter Wilkins as well, standing behind the post as he makes his way back over to the dressing rooms, and he has a big team talk here at half-time, because this was not on the script, I'd imagine, from a Connacht perspective here, playing at home in Dextown for the first time this season. And they could find themselves 20 points down.
I'm just looking to see if the shot clock has come on yet. Perhaps the TMO is having one final check, but they're okay, the officials, ready to go.
Yeah, he's 37 seconds left on the shot clock, so he's...
Your eyes are better than mine. I see it away to the left-hand side. Trying to get used to the new geography of the Dexcom Stadium. Everything's different now with the construction ongoing. That's going to come around left to right. Beautiful little fade off that. Masuka adds the conversion. Look at this scoreline now, 20-point game with 20 seconds to go to halftime in Galway. And the home team and Pete Wilkins, as Gavin was just saying, have a job of work on their hands here. It's been really impressive from a Sharks point of view, given everything that they've had to put up with this week. First game of the season, first trip to the Northern Hemisphere, coming off the back of the celebrations of the Currie Cup. They've been on a high. John Prumty said he almost got to bring his players back down to earth, but, well, they've hit the ground running here. All set to go then in Galway for what promises to be a really important second 40 minutes for both these sides. What a statement it would be for the Hollywoodbets Sharks to open up their URC campaign, having finished, as I said, in the lowly position of 14th with only 4 wins last season, with a big victory on the road in Galway against Connacht. Brilliant second quarter of that opening half, scoring 20 points, 25 points to 7. Josh Ioane has gone off, we suspect, for a HIA, and in his place, for now at least, is David Hawkshaw.
He's over there.
As Gavin Duffy was saying just before halftime, a penny for the thoughts and words of Pete Wilkins on his coaching ticket at halftime, because Connacht find themselves in a really big hole here. And this guy's been very impressive. Ball in hand on both sides of the ball, in fact. Julius has made 1 or 2 really big tackles And he's electric on attack.
Ball out! Ball out!
Ball is out, and Connacht can salvage it here with Piers O'Connor.
Keep the mark.
Now, has he given that too much? Is it going to run all the way? Nope.
Goal line drop out.
Just a goal line dropout. 20 points is a long, long way back. They'll probably, Gavin, certainly need to exert real pressure in the opening 5 or 10 here and get the first score of the second half, Connacht.
Well, the first score is paramount for Connacht to get. You know, you look at some of the stats and where do they need to improve on it? They're not out of the game in terms of the stats. You know, 7 handling errors compared to 3. You know, obviously 7 is not ideal, but missed tackles, they've only got 5 missed tackles last week. They had 29 in total across the game, so they have improved in that area. But I think it's just the physicality. They need to start winning the collisions. They need to start going forward, but particularly in D. They're leaking a lot of meters gained in contact, so it's the physicality side of it, and that's why I think Peter Wilkins' biggest message would have been, lads, you got to front up here in the second half.
And there's another good example of it as Connacht try and make progress with some of their own big ball carriers, the likes of their captain Cian Prendergast. They just get bumped back by the Chituka brothers and Ruan Dreyer on that occasion. Esther Hayes and Julius even with some big hits. Conor Oliver coming in off that wide flank at pace, running into Grobler again. Finlay Beelum.
Not the ball.
Chituka can't get rights on it. Over the top it goes for Mac Hansen. Can he burst into life? Cahill Ford inside. Brilliant. Well, if they're difficult to go through because they're so big and so powerful, how about over the top? It took something a little bit special, creative, and Cahill Ford and Mac Hansen combined to give Connacht an early lifeline in the second half.
Outstanding by Connacht. Lewis Cahill Ford standing at 10. Beautifully weighted chip, followed up the inside. And what a start by Connacht in the second half. Exactly what was needed, exactly what would have been asked for.
Shot clock here.
But Cahill Ford, what an outstanding couple of seasons he's had for Connacht. But his game continues to develop week in, week out. You know, he's renowned now in the league for his carries, in terms of contact and winning meters beyond the initial contact. But what a fantastic little chip there as well. And we saw it in the first half. Looked like he was going to carry into contact. A late pass to Piers O'Connor. This guy is building on his game every single season. He comes back with something new in the locker.
Taps over his own conversion. Josh Ioane off with the HIA. So it's the full 7 points for Connacht's inside centre. 2 tries in 2 games. He was so good at this stage of the season last season, 12 months ago. Started 11 of the first 13 rounds in the URC. 13 starts across the entire season and 5 off the bench. But yeah, he has a very, very high ceiling. He improves, it seems, with every game. We've seen a lot of this. It's real fractured, broken stuff, and the Sharks have got great appetite for picking up sloppy ball like that.
Connacht are getting very narrow on D. You know, they've got a good line, but they're very narrow on D.
Service from Bradley Davis has been impressive. Well, is this the season in the URC that we see the real Hollywoodbets Sharks stand up and be counted? They've got so many good players. It's a neck roll. Referees are so hot on that, you can't get away with it. They're always on the lookout for it.
Neck roll, 1 white.
And I think Conor Oliver would have been given the penalty anyway, perhaps. I think he was on the ball. And again, someone like Conor Oliver, he's a real leader in terms of the energy he brings. He's always confrontational and on the front foot. Earned his side the penalty there again.
No doubt whatsoever. Mchunu, the loose head prop, right in front of the referee, and it was because Conor Oliver was all over the ball, was going to turn it over in any case. 2-year contract extension in the spring of last year for Cahill Ford as well. Another of those Irish under-20s Grand Slam winners in recent history. Now that Dave Heffernan.
Little step, Sharks. Thank you very much.
Cahill Ford has asked during the week, you know, where do you see your long-term future, what position? And he's, well, I'm fully aware that Bundyaki is going to come back in at some stage and possibly look for that 12 jersey. I wouldn't mind if I was pushed out to 13 if that means I'm getting my game, but the way he's going, maybe Bundy might have to push out to 13.
high from Ben Murphy. There was a collision there in the air between Shane Jennings and Edwin Keiter. Rugby incident. No need to stop the play, and the Sharks continue.
Hold in front, hold in front.
Launch downfield again from Hendrickson. There's been one or two tricky ones in the second half of that opening half for Cadero, but he managed that one pretty well. Conor Oliver now. Now Mac Hansen. Oh, this time it doesn't go to hand. Out in front of Heffernan, tidied up for Jennings, and he wasn't held. Makes it an important extra 5 or 6 meters, maybe a little bit more than that still. They need momentum and tempo.
It's carried back at the 5 meters. Use it.
To the skies again is the option for Murphy, and off in chase goes Jennings. Hendrickson. He's looked very solid tonight. It's been a confident performance. Oh, it's been nudged through with a toe of a boot. Jennings off in chase, and support arrives from Heffernan and others.
Move! They removed the tackle.
Certainly more energy and physicality about this.
Use!
Opening 8 minutes from Connacht.
I suspect
It's
a
fine.
strict telling off at half-time. They will have known it was coming for sure. Connacht ball. So they win that one. Jennings. Player on the wrong side is James Venter.
You come in from the side, we come back for knock on by 14 wide.
It's only a knock-on advantage against the winger on the right-hand side, Edwin Keiter.
Yeah, he got up the highest, but had knocked it on the way down as well. And then Niall Murray was pinged for coming in from offside, so back to the original infringement. Again, every time Connacht get this sort of set piece now, you look forward, what way they're setting up, what have they got up their sleeve. Shane Jennings from this
Substitution wide.
left touchline is just loitering in behind the scrum at the moment.
4 and 9 wide substitution.
So change in the forward pack in the second row and at scrum half. So off goes Bradley Davis. They will
Time back on.
empty the bench, of course, over the course of the 80 minutes. There will be fatigue, despite the fact that they're certainly match fit after a run of games in the Currie Cup, but not easy to come away from home in a 7-day turnaround. So Tian Mayer is in.
Coach!
Corner Rowell as well for
Bind!
Jason Jenkins.
Stand up.
2 front rows stand up.
Oh, no, Jeff, please. We have really nice scrum at the end of the first half. This is a quick reset. Let's start, please. Stay with my command. Slow down.
So down they go again. As of now, it's a pretty conventional setup behind the scrum from a Connacht point of view. Mac Hansen holding the width away over on that far side.
Yeah, they've gone for kind of a double stack, so possibly out the back of
Bind!
Hawkshaw, and then a decision for Cathal Ford to make. Piers O'Connor out the back again to Cordero. Or Jennings as well now as he moves into position.
One.
So there's another little...
Number
it's
one.
not a small win, it's a big win really, particularly against this Sharks pack, but it's an energizer.
One.
Phillip for the forwards to pump out the chest, and now what can Connor manufacture off line out here?
Yes. Good call, Chris.
And usually going for a 5-man line out there as well. Usually teams tend to go for a full-man line out closer to the line.
David O'Connor it was who took it well, and off they go. Look at Heffernan now. Has he got the power? He has to get there. Connacht have come out fighting in the second half. 2 tries in quick succession, first from Cahill Ford and then from Dave Heffernan, who gets his second of the evening, and they're not done yet.
No, you can tell by Dave Heffernan, they are not done yet by a long way. You know, there's still a lot of uphill travelling to do yet, but as I said, they went for the 5-man line out.
No.
Got it moving forward.
Let's do Timo doing stuff. You cannot run here when there's a fight.
And that's a serious fight as well, to keep the shape, keep the discipline, and a good finish.
Sì, l'accesso è buono. Okay.
He had a bit to do, didn't he, Dave Heffernan? He was not going to be stopped. Really aggressive. Almost violent in the carry to get all the way to the line. It's not going to come round anywhere near enough. That one is left out to the left-hand side, but, well, the Cahill Ford try a few moments ago was a lifeline, and now their hearts are racing. They are very much back in the fight. You can see the belief, the appetite in the eyes, the expression of Dave Heffernan. John Plumtree won't want any excuses, but you would venture that the longer this game goes on, if Connacht can keep the tempo and the pace about it, Sharks might just tire. Masuku, haven't seen him carry ball in hand too much tonight, nor have we really seen Hendricks come into the line and use that footwork that he possesses. 6 tries in the game, 27 points to 19. So much could and will still happen. Tian Meyer gets away with one. Masuku, short little pop pass. Sharks trying to muscle and wrestle their way through. Corneral at 6'8", only a young man at 22 is coming off the bench for some URC action. Tian Meyer, they're trying to play to their strengths here. Lining up again. Chituka the option, they go beyond him to Corneral. Slow ball, painfully slow ball, and trying to inject some ballast into it is the younger of the Chituka brothers, Emmanuel Nchunu now. Big physical loose head prop, but if he sees open country and space in front of him, he can move and shift. Now, Esterhuizen, and again he just bumps off Prendergast. That's the power that he brings. He's such a physical player. Oh, intercept by Jennings. Has he got the pace to go all the way? Crowd roaring him on. Bonus point try for Connacht, and they are right back within striking distance. Shane Jennings, 70 metres. Listen to the noise and the atmosphere. Reduced capacity of 4,500. It feels like twice that right now.
Oh, the place is hopping, the place is buzzing. Shane Jennings timed it to perfection. Look at this. Eyes only for the ball. He was aware that Kaider was outside him, wasn't concerned. He knew Cahill Ford would close the gap if needs be. And what I liked as well was, look at this, Ben Murphy, the little interference line he runs as well. That's clever. He was tempted, look, the legs were gone at this stage. He's tempted to dive in underneath the post. Jennings, and a 7-pointer.
And it's a 1-point game.
What a turnaround, Conor. This is incredible. You know, from the first 10 minutes, you're thinking Connacht, they're taking up for where they led off in Thomond Park, playing at a pace and intensity. A bit more physicality than we've seen in Munster as well. And then after that, it was all Sharks. And it was like as if, you know, boxer at the end of a round. The bell comes just in time. Well, the half-time whistle came just in time for Connacht, and they've come out steady on their feet again, landing punches, and only a point behind.
Some fresh resources have come in, so off go Dennis Buckley, Finlay Bealham, Conor Oliver. Bundy Aki is barking out the orders. There he is, centre of your picture. There's a new energy. As the cut men and the corner men have been working hard with the players on their stools at half-time. Only 50 minutes gone in the second half, and it's a different Connacht side that have re-emerged from the sheds at half-time. And right now, as Connacht were in the first half, the Sharks are a little bit punch-drunk at this moment in time.
And that's the first time that they've dealt with a kick-off as well in the second half, where they haven't invited the Sharks on to build momentum. And, you know, just, again, basics done well. Every time you kick a ball inside your 22, you're trying to get a line out in the halfway. Now let's see what the Sharks have got left.
Sharks!
He's a smart rugby player, Ben Murphy, smart beyond his youthful years. He comes from a very intelligent rugby family. His brother Jack, gone on that emerging Ireland tour. His father, of course, up at Ulster. Oh, it's good contest. Tap back by Niall Murray. Sam Illo launches himself onto the ball on the ground.
Off feet now.
All the energy from the team in green.
I think this is a slight difference as well from last year. A little bit more pragmatic in their own half. Connacht putting pressure back down on the Sharks.
Play on.
But again, look how dangerous they are as well. Sharks are going to go here. They have numbers out left.
They need quick ball and they get it. Hendricks, Esterhuizen has to be stopped at source. It was O'Connor who managed to scrag him now. Masuku. That's much better. That's a brilliant tackle again from Piers O'Connor. That's two in quick succession.
See Iris, please. No, you're from no, back. No. Use.
Well, you shouldn't need to be smacked around the place to be woken up, but maybe that's what Connacht required, because 20 minutes they were absolutely on the ropes and looked to be on the canvas. They've woken up after half-time. It's going to be a fascinating final quarter in this game. Is there much left in the Sharks' tank, so to speak?
White ball, please.
They're beginning to labour around the pitch a little more now. Not finding their way to the base of the ruck quite so quickly. Not bouncing back into an attacking shape.
No play the 9. No play the 9. Stop all in front.
Hawkshaw underneath it. Did he knock that on? Referee's happy for the moment. It's a little bit high and loose from O'Connor.
I tackle. Advantage, I tackle.
Cater is keen to get involved now. Is there space out wide?
Playing penalty advantage as well here, so they're going to keep this in hand. And again, sense they're getting numbers out here on the right-hand side.
That's a great tackle from David Hawkshaw, a much bigger man, Corné Rowell. Now Hendricks. That
was a superb tackle by Cathal Ford. Absolutely well-timed. Cordero might have been closing the door, but it was a one-on-one tackle. Ford had to make that tackle, and he did so brilliantly.
And he knows it's Esterhuizen, and he's got to go ball and all on the big man who's already got 2 tries. Otherwise, Connacht are in big trouble. Penalty comes, though.
Sean? In the same action 3 times, he called it for stealing off, and next time is a penalty kick. Play the 9.
Substitutions for Connacht. There was
I'm not too sure what he mentioned there. Was that the same action by Niall Murray or the same action by Connacht in terms of coming through and playing the 9? But they had a penalty advantage for high tackle for sure. I didn't know if it was the second tackle, but that was the third penalty he feels that Connacht gave away in that phase of play. But overall, defensively, you would say Connacht did very well in that defensive situation there. A lot more aggressive. Kyle Ford, as I mentioned there, superb tackle. But again, we see how dangerous the Sharks are when they have ball in hand and how quickly they can identify where they have numbers as well. On 2 occasions there, they spotted it really well and got the forwards linking into the backs.
So a brand new front row for the Sharks. Dylan Tierney-Martin for Dave Heffernan is the switch on the Connacht side of things. Trevor Niakani coming in. What a player to bring in. Oh, that's very, very close. That's a big, big error of judgment. He's not convinced, you know, Masuku.
I think it's the ball drop there, you'll see it.
I wasn't allowed to. It's clearly on the left, the post option here.
Oh, correct call. Oh, yeah, wait, I'd stand by it. I think it was a correct call. I think where it crossed the plane of the line, it was beyond the corner flag.
Remember, here's the mark, he put the foot, you adjust.
I thought it was very, very tight. It could turn out to be, even with 20 minutes to go, a big call. It's a big let-off either way.
It is.
From a Connacht point of view, it's a big mistake from Masuku, just at a time when all the momentum is against them.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Yeah, just a big scrum as well. All new front rows in. Marker to be put down yet again.
Use rain!
Out the back from Prendergast to Murphy, and now on that little loop and wrap around a little bit behind Cordero from Cal Ford, but Cal Ford's been a big presence in this second half. No pitch for Cater to work with here. He's an aggressive player, carries very strong.
Use it! Use!
Pegged back inside their own 22 here. 1 point game, 7 tries in the match, 4-3 in Connacht's favour. How would you call it at this point?
Good backfield cover there though by the Sharks.
Line, that's good. Okay.
You know, for any young back three wingers, full backs watching this, you can't just stand on your wing in defensive situation there. He covered the full width of the park. Tidy up Cordero's kick.
Good take from Josh Murphy. And they're off and running at a rate of knots. Seamus Hurley-Langton, Oisin Dolan, they've emptied the bench here. David O'Connor has gone off in the middle of all that as well. Cal Ford now as that playmaker as he is, and Mac Hansen as well with those dancing feet. Relentless supply line from Murphy. There's the dummy wraparound. This time they instead go through the front door. And they're making meters through contact now.
22, sealing off.
David Hawkshaw pings.
Wait, no. It's fine. Go 10 meters, sealing off number 22. Clear latch. 6.
He's made an immediate impact, Seamus Hurley-Langton.
Don't do it like this. Lateral fit, 22 green.
He's quite... yeah. He has to make a bit more of an impact. He's fine. The minute you go to ground, though, you have to bounce up just for that split second and show the referee a different picture. You're on my feet. And he didn't do that. You know, in effect, I think you have to allow for that opportunity for the defence to counter ruck or to put your hands on the ball. So that's where he means the latch, and he sealed off. So by sealing off, you're not allowing that fair contest, even if it is just for a second. That's what referees are hot on as well.
Keelan Blade in for Ben Murphy.
On the ball for me. Release Connacht!
194th appearance for Keelan Blade for Connacht this evening. Brilliant summer tour as well with Ireland. Super to have that experience in a tight game like this. Brilliant turnover. It's Josh Murphy. That's massive for Connacht, and there is Keelan Blade. His first piece of action is to give Jordan Hendricks an awful ball down over in that corner. No pitch to work in, didn't have time because of the kick chase from Hansen and others to get his boot to it. They'll have to work their way out of here.
No, 16.
Massive 15 minutes for, you feel, certainly from a Connacht point of view.
Yeah, you feel this is one that Connacht have to win. More so than the Sharks. You know, there's a bit of a free hit for the Sharks tonight as they build into the season. You know, you mentioned so many players away, and on the back of a Curry Cup win last Saturday, you can't say that they've been anything but impressive tonight in fairness to them, but at home, first game of the season, especially on the back of what the performance was like last week down in Thomond Park. We keep saying it, Connacht have to back it up week on, week in. And it's a far better second half. Commentators cursed though.
Yeah. Initially it was a very good take again from Josh Murphy. Cian Prendergast couldn't hold it.
Ball is there, please.
Got to refocus now in defence.
Knock.
Cornell Rowell takes it on. Ethan Hooker, another player who's quite comfortable all across that back line. Saw him pop up with number 13 in the Challenge Cup final when the Sharks were so good against Gloucester. Connacht get the decision, that's brilliant. Who's over the ball? Dylan Tierney-Martin takes the plaudits.
Super tackle by Cian Prendergast as well. Nailed his man, put him on the ground. Dylan Tierney-Martin, I think, would have helped with Seamus Shirley-Langton as well, who's been really physical both sides of the ball since he's come on as well. Look at this, Cian Prendergast. Super tackle, Dylan Tierney-Martin. Another homegrown players come through the academy.
Yeah, was really good.
Getting his games over the last couple of seasons and really putting pressure on Dave Heffernan as well, who's responded pretty well in fairness to David Heffernan. Towards the back end of last season, he really came good again. His lineouts came good and he started the season really well. But Dylan Tierney-Martin is an up-and-coming local youngster as well, who's got loads of promise. And when you add in the signing of Adam McBurney as well, who's experienced in Ulster and in Scotland, they've built a bit of strength and depth in that position.
No, this has been excellent this evening. Can they go again? They'll have to.
It's through the middle, play on, it's through the middle.
Finding forward momentum a little more difficult this time. Away we go with Blade. Prendergast back down that blind side. Keelan Blade spotted space for Mac Hansen and the ball just beat his winger.
No, clear enough. Clear enough.
Just sensing the body language of the Sharks players as one or two are sucking in pretty hard at this point, and at any occasion or any opportunity they have to slow things down and just take a breather, they're trying to make the most of it. Murray again, great battle with Cornell Rowell at the front of that line out. Sharks have it, or should have it.
Use it!
Reasonably strong argument from Dylan Tierney-Martin there that two Sharks players were off their feet and sealing off the ball as he tried to poach. What kind of ground do they make? Not a huge amount.
Don't cross the line. Okay. Yeah, really good.
Again, Niall Murray, that's the last 3 or 4 lineups now. He's put serious pressure on the Sharks. So athletic at the front of that line-out.
Five tries at Thomond Park last weekend. Didn't come away with the victory. If they get a fifth here, they'll fancy their chances. Dylan Tierney-Martin has managed to stay in field there.
18.
Sharks offside. Hanro Jacobs is pinged, penalty advantage.
On the line!
Now will they go for the battle of the shoulders even on penalty advantage, or will they sling it out here
Yes.
and let the backs do something with it? The forwards want it. gritted teeth. Okay, and Prendergast, sometimes a bubbling ball can be your friend. Sharks for now stand firm. Line of green players queuing up. Murray fancies he can get low and edge forward.
With the hands.
On they go again. Can't quite just make those last couple of inches.
Sharks defensive line's getting quite narrow and tight. Shane Jennings on this left touchline here. Hand is up.
And that's Hurley Lank, and then it's loose, and Samillo picks it up, and he'll get there, you know. We'll check it upstairs. Referee straight away to the whistle, inviting in the TMO. But Samillo has popped up with the ball there, and that could be a massive moment for this Connacht side.
So after the try, we check potential knock-on. Stefano, TMO, please.
So we're looking for
because we have the ball on the line, grounded. I just want to check if the previous rack there is a knock-on by the number 9, 21 green. So I just check potential knock-on.
Okay, check potential knock-on. Okay.
On-field decision try.
Yes, we have penalty advantage in case we come back.
Yeah. Federico, quando la palla esce?
Sì, quando la palla esce devo capire come l'ha presa.
When the ball is...
Yes, when this ball is lifted by number 9, I want to understand if there is knock-on or not there.
Well, compared to everyone else,
check when the ball is going out.
Compared to everyone else on the ground who went absolutely bananas when Sam Lilo touched the ball down, Sam's
played by the foot by 21.
Celebration is quite muted in contrast, but
se la gioca col piede l'altro davanti non va bene.
Sì. Can you give me the white pictures, please, Stefano?
Nothing conclusive so far.
I want to see the white pictures.
See.
Okay.
I'm asking for the wider picture.
Okay. There, the ball coming up from the rack, 21 green, tap the ball forward, and 18 plays the ball in front.
Correct.
So it's not allowed as offside, so we come back for offside for me.
Yeah, good decision.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Try's good, try's not good. Try's not good. Offside, we come back here for the penalty kick.
That's a good decision by the referee.
Yes.
I think.
Captain.
We'll hear what he has to say here.
Captain, I will explain. Time is still off. Yeah, I want to explain my decisions to the captain. Captain, please. Yeah, Sean. Where the ball out from the rack, 21 tap the ball with the foot in the front, and your number it is in front of the top of the player, so it's offside. So we come back for offside here. Penalty advantage here.
We got tap, sir.
You tap. Okay. Offside.
So it's a reprieve for the Sharks. For how long? Route 1, brave call. Oh, here they go. The referee is frantically trying to get himself in a position to adjudicate here. Connacht try and shove over, they're on the line. Oisín Dowling finds his way to a 5th try for Connacht, and they've clawed their way all the way back to lead this game with 10 minutes to go.
What an outstanding comeback by Connacht. 24 unanswered points. The pick and go, an area where sometimes they come away empty-handed, but look at this, Oisín Dowling. Oh, just touches the white line. That's all it's got to do. It's just got to brush off it. Doesn't have to cross it, just touch it. And he knew exactly where it was.
Using every inch of that huge frame. And those long levers to put Connacht back in front. 31 points to 27. No mistake whatsoever. Cal Ford tosses away, discards the kicking tee. His job is done. The extras are added. Massive moment in the game for Oisin Dowling and Connacht. They had the Sharks on the ropes. They had to put them on the canvas. And it's a long way for them to find themselves back to their feet and be an attacking force in this game again now. They do look fatigued and wearied. But huge, massive credit to this Connacht side. 26 unanswered points now.
Your maths are better than mine, Conor. Thought it was 27 initially, but either way, it's put them 6 points up. And this is a massive now 7.5 minutes or so left. They need to continue on with that physicality and the desire, the energy.
Leave it.
Discipline as well, listening to the referee. But this Sharks side, they've been battle hardened over the last 5 or 6 weeks playing the Curry Cup. Particularly last week, you know, John Plumtree has said, we've been trying to install that never say die attitude into this squad, into this group of players. He said it was brilliant to see it last week. I'm sure he's expecting to see it right now as well.
That's a brilliant take from Cal Ford, who's moving around the pitch there like he's 14 feet tall. He seems to be everywhere. Concern down the line for Josh Ioane, who failed to re-emerge after that HIA in respect of next week's game away in West Wales at the Parc des Scarlets. But for now, with David Hawkshaw out there, Cordero, Cal Ford as well, all loads of playmakers.
You need to stay on his feet. You still tackle zone. You need to stay up. You cannot dive there. Off his feet.
Yeah, just there, Oisin Dowling. That was an important tackle. I know they gave away the penalty, but
yeah, they've got to stay connected and switched on in defence, because the Sharks can go from deep with the athleticism they have.
Where the Sharks have been at the most dangerous, where they're showing the most bite, is when they've got into Connacht 22. Be it through the maul or be it through some clever set piece, going to their strengths. They've been hugely effective.
Well, round one of the URC was the closest on record. There was a few lopsided scores already today and this weekend. You'd expect that. This could well be extremely tight. If the Sharks can hit back yet again here, they've been in their shell, forced back into their own 22 by the Connacht revival. Corner round, there's another one of those big hits. David Hawkshaw makes it so physical. Look at the reactions. They're all getting involved. Paul Boyle led on the follow-up. Thou shalt not pass is the message. This place is absolutely electric.
Wow, there was concerns that the Clan Terrace is gone. Would they have the same atmosphere, the same sort of intimidating noise bellowing out around the Dexcom this season? I think we've heard that in the last 40 minutes for sure. And what an introduction and impact by Paul Boyle. Again, quite a forgotten man perhaps, with the riches now that Connacht have in the back row, but what a man you can call on as well. Capped by Ireland a couple of years ago. His career kind of stalled by a few injuries as well, but I said there's been a few good recruits into that back row as well, so he's fighting for his place, and he knows he's got a big role to play in those last 4 minutes.
Not a good time to overthrow way over the back of that line-out. Surrendering possession back to the Sharks again. Conor Rowell once more. He's carried some amount of ball this evening. Masuku. Chituka gets it away to Hooker. Connacht player with hands on. Doesn't get rewarded. Sharks go again. Final few moments of what's been a pulsating game. Yeah. Called in real time by Dylan Tierney-Martin, picked up by the referee anyway. That's a cheap penalty you can see when you have to score.
On the neck.
In fairness to the referees, been very consistent to that all evening. You can see it here. Double hit, Keane Prendergast and Dylan Tilly Martin. Yeah, I think, as you said, he was going to pick that up anyway without Dylan Tilly Martin assisting him.
Here you go.
Well, is the fact that the fields of Athenry is ringing out. Does the Connacht support feel nervously? I'm sure that they've done enough to see this one out.
You can see the Sharks, they have such fight in them as well. You can see why they won the Currie Cup. You can see they're going to be a threat right throughout this season as well. They're playing with a lot more togetherness and cohesion. But perhaps the week that's in it,
It's fine.
you know, the freshness that Connacht perhaps had without the travel has come to the fore in the second half as well.
Yeah, they kind of ran their race in the opening 40 when they were absolutely brilliant. Now is that turned over? No, penalty. And that is the game.
Not released.
Peter Dooley comes up with the goods, and that will see Connacht over the finishing line.
Captain. Okay, time is off for injury now.
Only 3 tries on the board, so a penalty from Cathal Ford here will take away the reward of a bonus point for the Sharks. When it looked for long periods, right up to half-time in any case, they would get so much more.
Time is still off.
He'd be so disappointed with the first half, he'd be so pleased with the second. Pete Wilkins.
He wouldn't have gone to sleep last night or tonight. He mightn't have gone to sleep last night as it was with the anxiety going into a match like this, but he definitely wouldn't have slept tonight if that was the final whistle at half-time. You know, he would have been a worried man. How does he pick his charges up, you know, after last week? And then where they were at that half-time whistle. You'd love to know what was said at half-time in the dressing room, because they have certainly put together a 40-minute display in this second half.
Assistant tackle.
It's been one full of energy, full of physicality, being on the front foot, both in D and attack, backing each other up. You know, there's been a few one-on-one tackles out here. They were made as well. And they've just been so dominant in this second half. Yeah, he just never released Shatuka. He just has a split second, a bit of separation between him and the ball carrier, but
okay, it's over the 1 minute. Need to go out. Yeah, it's over the 1 minute. I understand.
Taking their time over Samillo here. Heavy strapping being applied to that right ankle, but
no, time is still
well,
off.
we saw, particularly in the opening 40 minutes, as we've said, the power that the Sharks have, and it's almost kind of scary to think of some of the names that they have still to come back in. It's 5 or 6 seasoned, battle-hardened Springboks to come back into the side. Yes, they'll be missing at latter parts of the season as well, but what a squad they have.
they really have. And I think that's the beauty, I think, of the URC as well. It's we don't always get, you know, the big names playing at all stages during the season, but yet you see the talent they have as the second or third choice, you know, across all the squads. And it's really about making the most of the opportunities you have. You know, if you play a team that don't quite have the big stars, can you get your 4 or 5 points?
There is time to restart.
If you're missing a few players, can you hang in there and get a losing bonus point away against Edinburgh or Glasgow? Or, you know, it's a fascinating league in that respect. And having it as a top 8 keeps the competition alive right down to the last couple of games, like it did last year. You know, it went right down. There's only 4 or 5 points to the final game of the season. It's making the competition far more competitive. But then for someone like the Sharks, you know, they could finish 8th and yet be one of the favourites to go on and win the competition. It's really caught the imagination, I think, over the last couple of years. And, you know, from what we've seen in the first 2 rounds of this competition as well this year, onwards and upwards for the league.
Huge roar goes up around the Dexcom Stadium. It was Cal Ford's try early in the second half that just lit the torch for this second half display. It was the catalyst. It galvanised this Connacht side. He's had a major role to play in terms of taking responsibility, showing leadership in this second half as well. And it's going to be the victory for Connacht. The only argument left to settle is if the Sharks, which you wouldn't begrudge them at this point, can find something to get a bonus point.
Leave it.
No, they really do deserve a bonus point. They've played their part in this game. Outstanding in certain aspects of it. Perhaps, as we said, we mentioned it, the travel, the celebrations last weekend, if they were prolonged in any which way.
Well, that's interesting, because if they get a try, they get 2 points, but I think they're going to be happy to try and put this over and take 1.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the safer bet, the better bet against one of the best defensive lineouts in the league.
Interesting now, Masuka being entrusted with this final kick as well. Given that Hendriska has been prolific from this sort of range and further out even. But Masuka seems to be the one who takes the...
He turns his nose up at anything that's in the opposition half. He only kicks them from his own side of the field. Think back to the Challenge Cup. This guy was metronomic. 21 points, I think it was, in the semi-final against Claremont. It was something very similar against Gloucester as well in the final in London back in May. Yeah, sneaks it in on the right-hand side, and they deserve that, the Sharks. It is a consolation of a point when at 40 minutes it looked like they were absolutely in cruise control and heading for 4 or 5. But what a comeback tonight for Pete Wilkins' Connacht side. Absolutely outplayed, outfought, outmuscled, and ran over in the first half. They found a way in the second half to get going, and that is a real show of character, of bravery, and they had to find the win, and they've got it, and they are off and running. First home game of the season, and had a little bit